Hey guys, it smells delicious in here. My neighbor downstairs is an absolute genius with the oven. Anyway, I crashed my M2. Let me tell you about it. I didn't crash it, someone hit me. But here, let's look at this, the police report. So we actually got advanced here. They actually draw out the accident. I have to blur out that top thing. But, yeah, so this is my car right here. There's a red light up here. This is a left-hand only lane. And this lane goes straight or a right turn. So there were a couple more cars at the stop sign, at the stoplight other than this. But pretty much I was in the left-hand lane. This car comes over and hits me in the back quarter panel. Then my car kind of like fishtails a little bit. I was going like we're like 100, 200 feet away from the stop sign. I was going like 20 miles an hour or something. So my car like fishtails and the front end of my car ends up hitting the rear of this car up here, which was, I don't know what it was, I forget. This one is like a Jeep Commander, and this was also some other SUV. She then rear ends the car that was in front of her. The car that hit her, or the car that hit me, the car that caused this accident, I have a picture, I'll tell you that in a minute. But yeah, as soon as the accident like settled down and I got out of my car, she gets out of her car and is talking about saying that her passenger was arguing with her, like telling her she doesn't know where to go or where she's going or whatever, and she needs to get over. So she was stopped at the light and just cuts her wheel real quick, I guess to like shut him up because he's being a backseat driver and arguing. And she didn't even look and hit me there, which like it wasn't even her fault. It was her passenger's fault. And she just got her license May 21st, I think. I looked her up on Facebook. So she probably was just listening to the guy was like her father or something, someone a lot older than her. So yeah, not a good dynamic. But yeah, here's a picture of the car she was driving. That's her in the passenger seat, and that's her father or whatever in the yellow shirt. 1996 Dodge Intrepid, piece of crap. It's her first car. You can be like understandable and kind about it or whatever. The funny story of piece of crap car hits a brand new sports car. So here's one picture of my BMW, and here's another picture of it. And right now, so luckily right after the crash, luckily, thankfully, whatever, it was right by a U-Haul, and the alarm was going off at the U-Haul place, so cops were already there to get the alarm and all that. So within a minute of the accident, probably less than a minute, a cop was there sorting everything out and all that. So everything went smoothly. Like, it was all white people, so no one was arguing or yelling at each other. Maybe that's not a joke I should make. But yeah, so my car wouldn't start at all. It was just stuck right in the middle of the road there. I guess like a tie rod or something in the suspension broke because it wouldn't steer. A couple days later, I went to the tow trucking company, and here's a video of yeah, my BMW. So yeah, you could see the bumper is all screwed up. This front winglet right here is all screwed up. This car is fully wrapped in Expel, so maybe some of the stuff, maybe only the Expel needs to be replaced on like the winglet. When we come up, you can see, pause it right here, you can see the wheel is touching the wheel well inside of there. So something's broken there, and the wheel well liner is all screwed up and stuff. Right here on the top of the door, you see a scuff. I know at the scene of the accident, the passenger side window wouldn't go up all the way. So maybe something screwed up in the door or something. But maybe this mark up here, just the Expel might only need to be replaced on the door. It looks like this winglet is fine, the rear one. Later in the video, we'll see like the rocker panel damage. But yeah, here's the rocker panel damage. Like right where the Expel stops, there's a bunch of scrapes and stuff and scuffs inside of there. Here's where she hit me. So I'll put up a picture right now of another M2. So this part, it's not just a fender that you can replace. It's all one part of like the roof and the rear quarter panels and everything. So it's like part of the body. So I don't know how they would replace that. The only thing I could think is that you cut out a section and weld in a new piece there, which is a pretty scary thing to do, because you have to be real careful to like, yeah, you could maybe bang out that section, but then it's going to be like real hard to get that perfect. But then if you cut it out and weld in a new section, you're going to have to be really careful with the welder to not warp the metal around it and all that. Yeah, then the wheel, both wheels have some minor scuffs and stuff on them. Hopefully they'll replace them instead of refinishing them, but the damage isn't really that bad. Yeah, here's a up close of the wheel well. You can see how much the tire's hitting that. And then underneath the suspension, I just stuck this under there real quick, but I couldn't tell anything that's broken or anything. Like, the car is actually on the flatbed now, so nothing I could do about that. So what's kind of troubling or has me worried about this accident is that minimum liability coverage is only $5,000 in Pennsylvania. So obviously anyone is going to have minimum coverage, and her driving a 96 Dodge Intrepid, I don't have reason to believe she's going to bump up her coverage limits, especially when that liability covers other people's stuff. So I don't have collision on the car. Like, I bought the car, I own the car. The reason I didn't get collision is because it would only cover things that were my fault, accidents that were my fault. So I didn't get collision on it, and collision is like an unlimited amount of coverage, I guess. So I don't have collision on the car. So her $5,000 liability, I think there's at least 20 grand worth of damages to my car, if not 25. So her liability coverage isn't going to cover that. So then it goes into the underinsured and uninsured coverage on my policy. So what that covers is if someone hits me, someone damages my property, or there's medical bills involved or whatever, that her insurance is too low to cover. That's where mine comes in. And I didn't talk to my insurance agent yet. Well, I did, and then they switched them over, and now I have a new person that I didn't talk to yet about any of this. But my underinsured motorist coverage, I think it's called, is $15,000 per person and $30,000 per accident. And I don't know which one is I'm gonna end up getting, if the max is 15,000 I can get out of it, or the max is 30,000. If the max is 15,000, then that's 20 grand right there that's the most I have access to. So if my car is more than 20 grand to fix, I would end up having to sue her, which she doesn't really have any income or whatever. So I'm pretty much I don't know what would happen with that. They would end up garnishing her wages, and I'd get paid like once a week or something for 100 years or something like that. I don't know how that will work. If it's $30,000, then that's $35,000 I have access to, and hopefully that covers everything. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not like upset about it, because there's nothing to be upset about. There's like courses of action that you have to take, and I'm just trying to prepare for everything. But the day that it happened, I was just like all like just frustrated with everything, because it's always like one after the other with me. When the accident happened, I was just frustrated that it just seems like I can't get ahead. Like, there's some problem all the time and all that I have to deal with. What else do I have to say? Yeah, like at the scene of the accident, I was just kind of calm and in shock, and I didn't say anything to anyone. I gave the cops my information, just stood there like in silence pretty much, because what else is there to do, you know? But that's the end of this video. Take care, guys. Thank you. Subscribe if you want, and do all that stuff. Bye.